the National Football League, presented by EA Sports. Today, our new season begins with an NFC South matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. Set to go, Wk1 ready to do the honors. And we are underway here on EA Sports. Taken in at the 3. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. They go play action. Winston gets this one to Hill. He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. 14 yards there on the first play from scrimmage.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
1 for 1, a lot more to go. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Again, it's Kamara. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. Couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time, that's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Winston again, it's Kamara. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll try to throw now. Winston looking left side. That's caught by Landry. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 33. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's got some space here. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Saints touchdown. Alvin Kamara, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Saints are on the board here first in the season opener. Lutz good on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. First and 10 now for the Falcons, and Mariota at their own 25-yard line. They're going to start the drive here on the ground with Patterson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. On first down, going back to Patterson. And some room to maneuver. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays. Couple of very nice carries to start this drive out.
Yeah, 2 first downs. And how about that second one? What a nice run on that particular play. I'm telling you, they're going to start to think that this game is easy if they continue to rip off yardage like this.
He takes this for about 6 down inside the 40.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
Well, I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Now back to throw.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. The opening week, certainly he didn't want to throw an interception, but the rookie got it out of the way. That's the first of his career.
Veterans throw interceptions week 1, week 2, week 3. It happens along the way, but you're right. He got out of the way. It's over. The big thing for him is, can he answer this question when he gets to the sideline? What did you see? Why did you make that throw? They'll work with it from there.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
From just shy of midfield, Winston. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
So now after the sack, Winston and the Saints needing to figure out what to do. Tough play, 3rd and long.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And he gets it just shy of midfield, but that's not enough. He's short of the marker. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points. But then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd and 1. That's into the hands of Pitts, the tight end. Ritter on target to Pitts for a Falcon first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he fires one that's intercepted.
Picked up by Pete Werner.
And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. So that now 2 consecutive drives that have ended in interceptions. You wonder if he's trying to do a little too much out there.
Oh, I like where you're going with that maybe he's pressing it a little bit, trying to be too fine with his throws, or maybe overestimating his arm. It could be a combination of all of those things. In any event, he's got to get it figured out and in a hurry.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
66 yards for him on the ground in his first quarter. He has been tremendous to start the new year.
One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
On play action, Winston.
He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
On the counter, here's Kamara. And he'll get nothing there. Stopped right at the line as that will wind us down to the end of this first quarter of play. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. And he's got his big wide receiver complete.
And the Saints are going to have a 1st and goal as he's taken down at about the 8-yard line.
All-pro receiver Michael Thomas missed all of 2021 while recovering from an ankle injury, but we'll never forget that he set an NFL record in 2019 with 145 catches. When healthy, borderline unguardable, just like he was on that play.
And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Again, Kamara.
And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Saint touchdown.
Alvin Kamara.
Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend.
And the Saints go up by 2 touchdowns.
And oh, it's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is alive. Taking it right down Broadway. The 40. The 20. And he takes it the distance across the goal line for 2 points. Well, I think there was a lot of surprise from the kicking team there. After the block, they kind of froze and then realized, oh, wait, they can return this, and they returned it all the way.
And you know why they froze? Not often do you get that second sound, right? There's the kick, you hear that, and then there's that second thud when there's a block. That's when people freeze and they have to realize where the ball is. They picked it up and took it the other way.
Ready.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit. Like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Well, this is intercepted. They get Ritter for the 3rd time.
Marcus May with a pick. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's the guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Buying time to his left. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Winston. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
Brandon Williams there on the pass rush. Give him the sack.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
Ready, set.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive.
And Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
Well, you just kind of feel for him right now. 4 interceptions, and you can almost see through his face mask. There's a lot going on in between the ears.
There certainly is, and probably way too much, because now he's probably doubting himself a little bit, wondering what adjustments he has to make. But here's what he needs to do. Get through this game, go to the press conference, meet it head on, and show your teammates you're ready to shoulder what happened today, and you'll be ready for the next game.
And if he can do that as a rookie, that's a great sign of maturity.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. To throw is Winston. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack.
Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack. So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Blake Gillikin on the punt here as he'll send this one away.
That'll go in the books as just a 16-yard punt.
And it will be Falcon football.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Ready?
They'll set up to throw. And he'll complete this one. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well. Offensively, they're just not playing a very clean football game right now. This deficit, there's a fumble. Good news for them, at least. That went out of bounds.
You're exactly right, and as they breathe a sigh of relief, you know they're looking at the scoreboard, thinking to themselves, if we turn it over there, things could really get rough for us trying to make a comeback in this game.
And now here is another interception.
Picked up by Pete Werner.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So not a good start for this rookie quarterback, already trailing in this first half, and that's going to make things worse.
Well, back in my day, this was not unexpected out of rookie quarterbacks. That's why a lot of coaches didn't want to play them. But coming out of college now, they throw it all the time. This is a little bit unexpected, the way that he's playing here.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away.
Taken at about the 1.
Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line.
So problems compounding themselves here on the return. They just give up the touchdown, and now they lose the football.
Yeah, partner, things are starting to unravel a little bit for them right in front of our eyes. They're going to be looking for some answers, and quickly.
They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
They run it again with Kamara. He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Working out of the gun, Winston. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete.
And the Saints are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
They bring pressure there on third down, but this is a nice job of picking it up and making sure their guy has time to deliver the football. And they wind up getting the first down.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And the offense is able to pounce on it inside the 5-yard line.
Could have been a costly mistake, but as it turns out, they keep possession.
You can't give away these types of opportunities in the red zone. And I'm sure that was flashing through his brain as the ball escaped his hands. Fortunately for him, able to get picked up by his team.
Touchdown! Adam Prentice, as the first half is winding down. And the Saints are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Lutz good on the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. This taken in at the goal line.
The Falcons take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
First and 10 at the 36-yard line.
Come on, set.
First and 10, it's Patterson. And taken down just shy of the 40. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
It's a new season, so both of these coaching staffs likely making plenty of adjustments after their first half of football. So for the call of the second half here in week 1, we go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This fielded right at the goal line. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard past.
Their own 22-yard line.
Ready.
About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line.
A CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history, and that's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
They'll run with Patterson.
Cordell Patterson, 30, 10, touchdown, Falcons. Cordell Patterson, 68 yards. And the Falcons are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Wk1 able to connect on the extra point, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Following the touchdown, here's Wk1 to kick off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again. And nowhere for him to go again. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
On 2nd down, a run with Patterson. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
3rd down, here's Patterson. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Staying on the ground on 1st with Kamara. They'll take it past the 40 to the 41, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Winston now. And Thomas has it. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
One of the things you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation,
The defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Winston now from the 50. Out to his left. Trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Casey Hayward.
And the Falcons are going to get the football here at their own 40-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful.
And he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory. And they had just picked it off to get the football. They fumble it right back. I looked over to both sidelines. A lot of scrambling to find the helmets.
Yeah, you can almost, I mean, you know both sides are screaming sudden change. Because when sudden change happens, that's a defensive call to get back out on the field. There's been a fumble, so an interception, some type of a turnover. You've got to get back out there and play. These guys just want to get to the bench and gather themselves and regroup a little bit. Let's see if these offenses can settle in and start taking care of the ball a little bit better.
This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
On second down, Kamara. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line.
122 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
Winston. Open man is Michael Thomas.
And he is going to have a Saints first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Again, it's Kamara. And past the 30, down to about the 27.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here, because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Here's Winston. Winston into the slide, and he's got a first down. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
It certainly appears that he's been able to get a read on how they've wanted to contain him in this game. He's seen some places where he can beat them in big spots, and right there, he slides in with ease for the first down.
Winston to give, it's Kamara.
This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. play fake. Winston. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, fourth quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Already a pair of third-down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this third-down try. On third down, here's Kamara. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Here we go.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the linebacker, Demario Davis. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. That time defensively looked like they showed quite a bit of pressure, but backed off, and it proved fruitful. They get the pick.
He went through all of his rules about getting rid of the ball quickly because he read blitz. He saw all those people stacked at the line of scrimmage, and then they fooled him by dropping into coverage. Now he's ready to get rid of the ball fast, but guess what? Too many defenders out there. Exactly as you described, an interception.
And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there, and I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think you may want to keep them cranking high right here.
This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering whether they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game. That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
On second and 11 now. Winston will get this one underneath to Kamara. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, it should not stop them at all from going back to him. Find him. Find him.
The kick by Lutz is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
So they got the turnover, started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. Goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
Let's go now.
The Atlanta offense out there for their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
That's just his second catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Well, they only needed a small gain on third down. They end up getting over 30 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Back to throw again. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Saints are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
Well, this is something we've seen before, partner. We've seen a defense bait a rookie. Window open, and then the defensive back jumped it as soon as the ball was released. Big-time play. They love taking advantage of the youngsters, and in this case, it paid off well.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Kamara. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Saints on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This time it's 3rd and 3. To throw, Winston. So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Late in the game, he's certainly doing everything in his power to buy time for his guys to make a play, but in this case, he's surrounded, and all he has room to do is to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. It got his man, complete.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line. We saw this plenty last year in college. He loved to take his shots downfield, and And that throw, that was a thing to behold there.
So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. Looking to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Caught on the slant. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
A nice throw right there, and these fans getting their first look at their QB1 of the future. I'd imagine it's got to be a big plus for him to get his first start here in front of that home crowd.
I know there's a school of thought about getting your first start away from home so you don't have the extra pressure of that crowd behind you. But I say ride the wave. Embrace it. Go ahead and play to that level, and I think it's going to benefit him in the long run.
They'll look to throw again. This is caught. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the 1st. So the completion gets him just a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
So that a nice throw, but it hasn't really turned out to be the grand debut that many had hoped for. His team's down double digits. And what have you seen, CD?
About what I expected, really, because for a youngster making his first start in the NFL, I kind of expected to see these things. A few bumps along the way, maybe not the plays you expect.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby.
And the Saints are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20.
Well, let's face it, Brandon, they're down here in the second half. Want to try and make something happen, and if you're the guy with the ball in your hands, you're going to try even harder, because I think all he was trying to do was to get outside the pocket and see if he can find a big play downfield.
And they'll take a knee as the clock ticks down toward 50 seconds to go. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And they will take a knee here.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in Week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season, and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Saints, hey, you get a win, you get it on the road. You can't ask for much more than that to start the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams.